Robert, you called my show. Why are you here?
I'm here, Steve, because my daughter told me she was being beaten, molested, and I feel she deserves justice, and I'm here to pretty much find out what's going on with her.
Obviously, you have joint custody with Tiffany.
I do.
And when your daughter returns from these visits, do you observe anything?
Well, at first, no. Pretty much when we first got together, I was in the military. I was in the Marine Corps, so I wasn't always there, and she couldn't handle that. It started off, I didn't see my daughter for the first 2 years of her life.
You weren't there because you were serving in the Marines. Then.
I was. And when I came back to my hometown, during leave, I tried calling her, hey, can I pick her up? And she had a sheriff call me saying if I called her again that she'd press harassment charges. So I let it go. About 2011, finally I was actually at a point to where I can be home more, and I went to her house and told her straight up that either you give me my rights as a father or I'm going to take my rights in court. And it was going good for a few. Pretty much I'd get her, on a Sunday, and then I'd take her back Wednesday before work and everything, and then just one day she never showed up. My daughter was with me for 2 months, not a call, nothing. Finally, I had 12 sheriffs knocking at my door at 3:30 in the morning, trying to accuse me of kidnapping my own daughter.
So you're saying you had her, she doesn't come pick up the daughter.
I stayed outside her house for 3 hours. And I called every phone, her cell phone, her parents, her house phone. I stayed in her city because I was in another city, but I stayed in her city for 7 hours before calling the cops myself and DHS to make sure I wouldn't get in trouble for taking her home.
So you take her back home, you got her for 2 months, and then at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I just got off work. I worked a little bit late. I was expecting no call. There's no text, no email, nothing. And then there's a pound at the door. And I open it, and there's literally 12 sheriffs there with, anger at me because they're thinking I'm kidnapping my daughter. Coming at me side, always like, hey, we heard that you have your daughter and that you're keeping her from mom, and I explained everything to him. And then from that point, I told him, unless there's a court order in my hand now, because I'm going to take it to court, unless there's a court order, she can't have her then.
You're going to keep your daughter?
Well, pretty much, because if that's how she's acting, where she
right, no, and
I'm
not saying you did anything wrong. I'm saying I agree with you.
She didn't care. So if you don't care enough to come pick up your kid for 2 months, then you could have just called.
And during this 2 months, did you ever contact her? Did she ever say,
I gave up contacting her. When there was no response.
But during that 2 months, she never got in touch with you?
Nope. And she knew where I worked. She, everything. Not a call, nothing. Not even a Facebook message. When we established custody, it was 50-50. Everything was still going okay. We established every other week. Until one day she shows up. She's wearing kind of a long dress. She went to a birthday party. But she was really, really reluctant to take it off. And I'm like, okay, well, it's your mom's dress. I don't want to ruin it because it looks expensive. We need to put you in other clothes. When I finally convinced her and I took her dress off, she had a handprint on her...
You're talking about your daughter?
Yeah, my daughter did. She had a handprint on her arm and multiple bruises. She had a bruise on her neck and multiple bruises other places. Now, when I tried asking her, she got really, really scared, like she was going to get in trouble for telling me. And finally, I'm like, look, I can't help you or protect you if you don't tell me. And the only name she brought up was John. Now, she wouldn't tell me anything about what happened, nothing. She told me the handprint was when he grabbed her, but she was so feared to tell me what happened with
that's a serious handprint.
It is.
Okay, and we're talking about a very, very young girl here.
So I called her mom and told her we need to talk in person. She wanted to bring her husband. I said it's not the best idea.
Oh, she's married to John
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
So we established, I showed her the pictures. I told her, look, that's when I established I don't want him touching my kid. That's not his kid. About June.
Your daughter had a black eye, though.
Yes, she did. That was another kid showed up. Showed up with a black eye, and it was really, really distinct, too. I was at work when she got dropped off, to a family member's house. And then what got me, though, was I asked my cousin, did Tiffany say, what happened? Because, if my daughter ever got a bruise with me, when she go home, I'll be like, look, she fell or this happened, explain it. But
and
it's the fact that...
happen with kids
exactly,
bruises.
And I know that. But the fact that you drop her off and don't explain nothing, that means, to me, you're hiding something. So when I tried asking her, my daughter's story changed. First, it was she tripped over a cat.
She tripped over a cat?
Yes. So then I asked her again, I was like, okay, that doesn't explain how you got that. So I asked her again, and she said, well, she fell. So I called her mom. I was like, hey, Tiffany, what happened? And that's when she explained, oh, she fell into a table. And that's only after I told her that's what my daughter stated.
Is she even as tall as the table?
No.
Okay, that's...
And then when I asked her, I said, your mom
sense.
said you fell into a table? She goes, no, I fell into the chair. So it kept changing. You went from the table to the chair to John again.
And you believe Tiffany is covering for her husband?
Because Tiffany's story changed too. When I told her my daughter stated that it was because of John, oh, she fell into his knee. Well, she said that it was his fist. Oh, well, his hands were on his knees when she fell into him.
When she comes back to us with welts on her back and BBs in her pocket.
Are you saying that he shoots her with a BB gun?
I don't know if it's him or
Did you call the police?
Tiffany called.
Did she call the police?
I don't know if she called the police or.
See,
You don't, so you didn't ask who she called?
There's not even, see,
Hold
you have
on.
no truth.
You didn't ask who she called? See, you think that this little girl was shot with BBs and you don't know who your wife called.
John is the one who puts my daughter to sleep every night, and he tucks her in and gives her hugs and kisses. And he makes sure she has her stuffed animals that she wants to go to sleep with. And when she's hurt or sick, she doesn't come to me, she comes to him. And she would rather curl up on the couch and watch a movie with him than do anything else. She'd rather do that than play with any of her toys or go to the park or anything. She'd rather just sit on the couch and watch a movie with John. I don't think that she could love him that much if he treated her the way that Robert says that he does. I hate him. I hate the fact that he spent the last 6 years of my life trying to make me miserable. And I hate that my daughter hates seeing him. And she cries when she has to go to his house. And she's a mess when she comes back. She's filthy and she's emotional, and it's not fair to her. I know that John would never do anything to hurt my daughter because he loves her so much. He's always questioning her and asking her if we're doing bad things to her, and I think that he's just trying to put it in her head so that he can take her away from us. I just want my husband and my name cleared, and I want him to go away. He can't be a good father, so he shouldn't have the opportunity to try anymore. And I want to prove that Robert is an unfit parent, and that if anybody deserves to get their daughter taken away, it's him. John has been in my daughter's life longer than Robert has, and more consistently. And I think it's perfectly fine for him to discipline her if she needs it. And we checked her out. We set her down on the bathroom counter, we checked her out, made sure everything was okay. The only thing she had was a bruise and a scrape on this knee and a bruise on that foot.
And you determined, we don't have to take it to the
No
doctors.
broken bones, nothing either?
We watched
You know
her.
that?
You watched her. We're talking about a little girl how she fell out a window and you didn't even necessarily, at least, not even an emergency room, but even a doctor to take a look at her. Because you two looked at her.
That he punches her, he smacks her, he touches her down there. What kind of mom lets a guy do that? Your daughter should come before your husband.
My daughter does come before
I
my
can't
husband.
tell. How many times did she come to us
Hey,
before?
you fat bitch, listen.
I'm pregnant, bitch. It's not
Bitch,
fat.
you were fat before you were
I'm
pregnant.
pregnant. I'm pregnant, bitch. It's not fat.
No.
Sorry.
So John came here and he took a lie detector test and we asked him, did you ever cause a black eye to your stepdaughter? And he answered no. Besides one time, have you ever hit your stepdaughter leaving marks or bruises on her? And he answered no. Did you ever have any sexual, physical contact with your stepdaughter? And he answered no. The results for all three questions came back the same, and they came back that John did not tell the truth. Don't run! Don't run! No! This man! Are you kidding me?
I have never
This
touched
guy
her.
just fails for abusing your daughter? And this is what you want to do? You want to collapse backstage?
Knowing he touched my daughter, he beat my daughter, he hurt my daughter, and you know about everything. Your own words is you know about everything that happened.
And with that, you get the hell off my stage. I'm glad you're making the fight for your daughter. I think this is a bad situation for her to be in. It sounds like you already got your ducks in a row. When you get home, we'll obviously help in any way we can, and just do whatever you can to keep protecting that little girl. Good luck to you.
And I think it hurts because I don't know how long it's been going on, and my daughter's been constantly going back to that home. I mean, thankfully now I know better and I'm gonna get full custody.
She's not safe. It showed today she's not safe. And I don't care how much it will cost us, if whatever it takes, she will be out of the house and with him.
I was raped.
My name is Steve Wilkos, and I'm an investigative talk show host with a law enforcement background.
It was my life or his.
My job is to get truth and justice for everyday people. Watch our videos now.